It was the morning of my 25th birthday. I woke up eager to start celebrating and enjoying my special day. After a quick shower, I headed to the kitchen to make some coffee and breakfast. As I waited for the coffee to brew, I glanced out the window above the sink. The sunny morning sky made me smile. I was glad the weather was cooperating for my birthday plans. I decided I would drive to the beach after breakfast. It was only about a 30-minute drive, and I couldn't imagine a more perfect way to spend the morning of my birthday than relaxing in the sun and sand. I dished up the scrambled eggs and toast I had prepared and sat down at the kitchen table. As I ate, I contemplated who I would invite to my birthday dinner that evening. I didn't want anything too crazy, just my closest friends. After breakfast, I got dressed in shorts, a tank top, and sandals. I grabbed my beach bag and a good book and headed out the door. I turned on the radio and sang along as I drove to the coast. I rolled the windows down and enjoyed the breeze. When I got to the beach, I was lucky enough to find a parking spot right near the boardwalk access. I happily slung my bag over my shoulder and made my way out onto the sand. The beach was gorgeous, the sun glittered on the waves, and the smell of salt water hung in the air. It wasn't very crowded, which was perfect. I spread my towel out and settled in to read my book. I was so absorbed in the story that over an hour passed before I realized it. Marking my page, I decided to take a quick swim. The water was cool and refreshing. After my swim, I laid back down on the towel, letting the sun dry me off. Another hour slipped by. The rumble of my stomach reminded me it was past lunchtime. I dug through my bag and found the sandwich I had packed. After eating, I noticed more people were arriving at the beach. I decided I better start heading home to get ready for my party. I gathered up my things and trekked back across the sand to the boardwalk. My car was still waiting where I had parked it. I tossed my bag onto the passenger seat and turned the key in the ignition. Nothing happened, just a click. I tried again with the same result. My heart sank as I realized my battery was dead, and of course I didn't have jumper cables. I sighed, slightly frustrated that this had to happen today of all days. I got out of the car to check my surroundings for anyone who might be able to help. The parking lot was empty now. The only other cars I could see were a long way down the road. Glancing back toward the beach, I saw that it had cleared out as well. A dense fog was now creeping over the dunes. Suddenly, I felt very isolated and alone. I shivered, the temperature seeming to drop rapidly. The fog floated across the lot, enveloping my car. I couldn't see more than a few feet. I reached for my phone, preparing to call for a ride, when a dark figure emerged from the mist. He staggered toward me, mumbling under his breath. I backed up, eyes darting around for an escape route. The strange man kept approaching. As he got closer, I could see his eyes were wild, staring intensely. His clothes were ragged and his face unshaven. Terror seized me. I turned to run, but my foot got tangled in something on the ground. I crashed to the pavement, pain shooting through my ankle. The man was only a few yards away now, his unintelligible muttering growing louder. I scrambled to get up, but the pain in my ankle was blinding. As the man reached toward me with outstretched arms, an engine roared from somewhere in the fog. Headlights appeared, speeding right for us. The man screamed, covering his face against the glare. The car pulled up next to me, and the driver's door opened. "Get in," a woman's voice shouted urgently. Without hesitation, I dove into the passenger seat. Slamming the door, the car sped away from the lot as I glanced back to see the man getting smaller and smaller, still stumbling after us. My heart pounded as I tried to catch my breath. I turned to thank my rescuer. "I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't come along," I gasped. She stared straight ahead silently as she drove, her knuckles white on the steering wheel. Now that my panic was subsiding, I studied the woman. She looked to be about my mom's age, with short brown hair. Her clothes were odd, an old-fashioned floral dress and a cardigan sweater. "Is your ankle okay?" she asked. "It looked like you hurt it back there when you fell." "I think it's just twisted," I replied. "It really stings, but I'll be all right." The woman nodded, falling silent again. She drove aimlessly, sometimes doubling back, making random turns through the fog. Through the haze, I gradually realized none of the roads or landmarks were familiar. Uneasiness trickled down my spine. "Where are we going?" I finally asked. "Somewhere safe," she responded cryptically. I felt reality slipping away from me as we plunged deeper into the mist. The car creaked and groaned as if it too were from another time. I stared at the woman's aged hands on the wheel, nails painted in chipped rose-colored polish. The dread in my stomach grew as the car pulled up an overgrown driveway and parked by a looming, decrepit house. Every instinct told me to run, but my ankles still throbbed. I limped slowly up the front steps after the woman. She opened the front door, revealing a dusty parlor decorated in antique furnishings. "Make yourself comfortable, dear," she said with a smile. "I'll make us some tea." I perched on the edge of a sofa, sprouting stuffing from split seams. The windows were darkened with grime and heavy velvet drapes. Where was I? What was this place? The woman returned, humming to herself as she set a tea tray on the coffee table. She handed me a cracked cup and saucer. Steam rose from the amber liquid. I hesitated, but she tilted her head expectantly until I took a sip. The tea was bitter and metallic. Immediately my head swam. Colors and shapes blurred together. I tried to stand, but my legs gave out and I collapsed back onto the couch. My eyelids fluttered as I struggled to remain conscious. The woman leaned over me, stroking my hair. There, don't fight it," she crooned. "Just relax." Her voice sounded far away. The room spun violently. I squeezed my eyes shut, feeling myself sink into blackness. I dreamed I was floating, unable to move, surrounded by inky clouds. Slowly they dissipated, and I could make out vague shapes moving around me. Their blurred faces came into focus. The people from the beach parking lot, the wild-eyed man, the woman in outdated clothes. Others appeared, all watching me intently. I tried to speak, but no sound came out. Panic rose when I realized my body was paralyzed. The figures pressed closer as I fought unsuccessfully to break free from some invisible force. Suddenly, searing pain shot through my skull. My back arched against the agony. The onlookers held me down as the white-hot torture tore through my veins. A silent scream stretched my lips wide. Just as quickly as it came, the pain vanished. Gasping for air, I realized I could move again. I flailed my arms, but no longer felt trapped. The vague faces drifted away, dissolving into the darkness. I jolted upright, my cheeks wet with tears. Disoriented, I glanced around. The living room looked completely normal in the daylight shining through the windows. I was on my own couch, back in my house. It took me a moment to get my bearings. I must have dozed off while reading my book, which still lay open on the floor. What a horrific, bizarre dream. I slowly sat up, scrubbing my face with my palms. Just then, the doorbell rang, making me jump, laughing at my own skittishness. I limped over to answer it, my ankle tender but not seriously injured. I opened the front door to see my best friend on the porch holding a gift bag. "Happy birthday," she shouted, throwing her arms around me. I hugged her back tightly, so relieved it was just a dream. Or was it? As we walked into the living room, my friend frowned, reaching toward my hair. "What's that?" she asked. She plucked something out and held it up. It was a single gray hair. It was finally the big day, Amanda's 10th birthday. She had been looking forward to this for months. As soon as she woke up, She jumped out of bed and ran downstairs where her mom was making a special birthday breakfast of Amanda's favorites: chocolate chip pancakes, bacon, and orange juice. After breakfast, it was time to get ready for the party. Amanda took a long bubble bath and got dressed in her favorite party dress, a purple sleeveless dress with a tulle skirt. She put on some cute sandals and a headband that matched her dress. Friends and family started arriving around noon for the backyard barbecue birthday party. Amanda was so excited to see all of her friends from school. The backyard was decorated with purple and white balloons and streamers. There was a big sign that said "Happy 10th Birthday, Amanda." Amanda's mom had planned all kinds of fun games and activities. One of the first games was a scavenger hunt where the kids had to search the yard to find clues leading to Amanda's birthday presents. Next up was face painting, where the kids could get their faces painted like animals or with colorful designs. After some more fun and games, it was time for the highlight of every kid's birthday party, the cake. Amanda's mom wheeled out a stunning two-tier cake decorated to look like a unicorn. It had a sparkly mane, a rainbow horn, and the words "Happy Birthday, Amanda" written in lavender frosting. As Amanda leaned forward to blow out the candles and make her wish, her sleeve caught on fire from the flames. Amanda started screaming as the fire quickly spread up her tulle skirt. All the parents rushed over as Amanda's mom desperately tried to pat out the flames. Chaos ensued as the parents worked frantically to put Amanda's dress fire out. One dad grabbed a pitcher of juice and dumped it on Amanda. Another mom ripped off her jacket and tried smothering the flames. Amanda wailed in panic as parts of her dress burned away. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the fire was extinguished. Amanda's dress was mostly burned and tattered. Her mom wrapped a blanket around Amanda's shoulders and hugged her tight. All the party guests stood in stunned silence, not believing what had just happened. Amanda's mom said they would need to take her to the emergency room to get checked out and make sure she didn't suffer any serious burns. Amanda's 10th birthday party had ended in disaster. As Amanda's mom drove her she cared about with her to celebrate turning 10 years old, this was a birthday she would never forget.